The AI operating system. This isn't another AI tool roundup or a ChatGPT tutorial. What you're about to see is a complete methodology for wrapping your entire business in an AI layer that automates operations, scales your bandwidth, and decouples your growth from headcount. If you're a founder who feels like you're running on a treadmill, working harder every month but not actually growing, this framework is going to change how you think about running a business. Let's start with the problem. Most founders are trapped as the most expensive operations person on their team. Look at these numbers. 80% of a typical founder's time is spent in the business, on operations, putting out fires, answering emails, updating spreadsheets. Only 20% is spent on the business, on actual growth. Decisions stall because everything routes through the founder. Clients demand direct access. And here's the killer. Revenue growth requires proportional hiring, which means payroll expands faster than profit. This is the operator trap, and almost every entrepreneur I know is living some version of it. Here's the thing, though. The technology to clear that operational bottleneck already exists. McKinsey's research shows that generative AI can automate 60 to 70% of current work activities. Not in the future, today. Their November 2025 update confirmed that 57% of total U.S. work hours are already automatable with current technology. And 84% of U.S. LinkedIn members are in jobs where at least a quarter of their repetitive tasks could be handled by AI. The tools are here. The gap isn't technology. It's implementation. And that's exactly the problem. Mainstream adoption is wide, but implementation depth is shallow. 75% of small businesses have invested in some form of AI tools, but 68% admit they're just winging it, with no cohesive system tying things together. The reality is that disjointed chatbots and one-off automations provide minor time savings, maybe 5 to 15 hours a week on marketing tasks, according to HubSpot. But they fail to fundamentally shift the business architecture. Having ChatGPT open in a browser tab is not having an operating system. Meanwhile, the tools powering real AI operating systems are scaling faster than anything we've seen before. Claude, the agentic workspace at the center of this methodology, has seen 300% growth in active users since the Claude 4 launch. It hit a $2.5 billion run rate by early 2026, with a 5.5x revenue jump. 84% of developers are now using AI tools daily, according to Stack Overflow. The shift is clear. We've moved from simple chat interfaces to persistent, agentic workspaces capable of executing complex business workflows. And the North Star metric has completely changed. It's no longer about headcount, it's about revenue per employee. Traditional businesses generate $200,000 to $500,000 per employee. Look at what AI-powered companies are doing. Klarna pushed their revenue per employee to nearly $1 million. OpenAI hit $2.87 million. Copilot reached $4.2 million per employee. McKinsey's 2025 data shows that AI-automated solo operations achieve 4.2 times higher revenue per hour worked compared to manual workflows. This is the new flex. Not how many people you have, what each person produces. So what exactly is an AI operating system? First, let's be clear about what it's not. An AIOS is not a new business model. It's a methodological wrapper. You do not need to change what creates value for your clients. The AIOS wraps around your existing operations, whether you run an agency, an e-commerce store, a coaching practice, or a SaaS company. It functions as an interface between your team and your execution, allowing you to control the core business with unprecedented leverage. Think of it as an AI layer that sits around your business model, getting thicker and more capable over time. But here's the golden rule that separates smart implementation from expensive mistakes. Augmentation beats straight replacement every time. Look at the Klarna cautionary tale on the left. They replaced 700 customer service agents with AI. It handled 2/3 of all chats, resolved issues in 2 minutes instead of 11, and projected $40 million in profit improvement. Sounds amazing, right? Then quality plummeted and they had to rehire humans. The smarter play, shown on the right, is the AIOS philosophy. The system handles 70% of routine operations, so your humans can dominate the 30% that actually matters. Harvard Business Review reported in 2026 that companies are laying off based on AI's potential, not its performance. Don't make that mistake. So how do you actually build this? The key principle is layers, not leaps. You do not implement an AIOS overnight. You build it systematically, layer by layer. There are 5 layers total, starting from the core of your business and working outward. Context, then data, then intelligence, then automation, and finally, build. Each layer progressively offloads operational bandwidth, moving the founder further from the daily grind. Let's walk through each one. Layer 1 is context. This is the foundation that everything else builds on. The goal is simple. Eliminate the blank slate chat experience. Every time you open ChatGPT and have to paste in who you are, what your business does, who your team is, that's wasted time and missing context. In an AIOS, you feed in your business identity, core values, team structures, product catalogs, and quarterly strategy documents. The result? The AI functions as a fully briefed business strategist, not a generic assistant. It knows your business deeply before you even ask the first question. Layer 2 is data. Once the AI understands your business qualitatively through context, you give it quantitative awareness by connecting live operational data sources via API. Your financials, your analytics, your CRM data, your operational spreadsheets, everything flows into a central data hub. The result is that the system knows exactly where you stand quantitatively in relation to the strategy you outlined in Layer 1. It can pull reports, run analyses, and tell you where the numbers are tracking versus your goals, all without you manually checking dashboards. Layer 3 is intelligence. This is where things get really powerful. The goal is to capture the daily pulse of your entire organization by ingesting all internal and external communication logs, meeting transcriptions from tools like Fireflies, voice intelligence data, and direct messaging channels like Slack. The AI can now query historical decisions, track client sentiment across conversations, and monitor internal team friction instantly. This layer gives the system ears across your entire business. And here's the killer output of layers 1 through 3 working together. The daily brief. Every morning, you receive a fully automated report synthesizing context, live data, and internal intelligence. Complete visibility into your business. A funnel breakdown with exact metrics over the last 24 hours. Key signals highlighted from analyzed client calls and team meetings. This single output replaces hours of manual status updates and dashboard checking. It tells you a story about your business, what happened, what needs attention, and what opportunities exist. This is one of the most valuable checkpoints for any founder implementing an AIOS. Layer 4 is automation. This is where you start seriously freeing up bandwidth. It begins with the task audit. You document every recurring responsibility across your business and target a 60 to 70% clearance rate. Then you use the Workspace Explore commands to map out custom solutions for complex processes. The AI, because it already knows everything about your business from layers 1 through 3, can help you figure out how to automate each task step by step. Finally, you deploy cron jobs, recurring automated scripts that handle routine administrative work on a schedule. Each task you cross off moves the bandwidth bar further in your favor. Layer 5 is build. This is the payoff. Remember that bandwidth split from the beginning? 80% operations, 20% growth? After implementing layers 1 through 4, the ratio flips. Now you're spending only 20% on operations and 80% on growth and building. The goal is to redirect all that reclaimed bandwidth into rapid growth initiatives. Instead of working in the business, the founder leverages their AIOS workspace to launch new products, campaigns, and markets. The real-world impact speaks for itself. Using this reclaimed bandwidth, Liam Otley utilized his AIOS to plan, build, and execute a $1 million New Zealand dollar webinar launch in just 7 days. That's the kind of output that becomes possible when you're not drowning in operations. Now, building the system is one thing. Knowing if it's working is another. Without a clear scorecard, the AIOS becomes an expensive hobby rather than a business imperative. There are 3 core metrics that determine if your operating system is actually providing leverage. Let's go through each one. KPI number 1. Away from desk autonomy. The test is simple. Can you run your entire business from your phone via a mobile interface? By connecting your AIOS to mobile-friendly tools like Telegram, you decouple your physical presence from business operations. Here's the real test. Leave your laptop at home for the weekend. If the business breaks, your wrapper has a gap. If everything runs smoothly, your AIOS is working. Test this regularly and close the gaps each time. KPI number 2. Task automation percentage. How far along are you in clearing your original task audit? This is measured by consistently shaving off daily manual actions, one by one. You track the migration of tasks from human execution to heavy AI augmentation, aiming strictly for that 60 to 70% clearance threshold. This is the most tangible measure of progress. Every task you automate pushes the bandwidth bar back in your favor. KPI number 3. Revenue per employee. This is the definitive indicator of AI utilization efficiency. The test is simple. Is your organizational output per human trending upward? Growth should no longer require proportional hiring. Headcount remains flat, but bandwidth and output multiply. Either revenue goes up while employees stay the same, or revenue holds while you need fewer people, or ideally both. This metric is what separates AI-native businesses from everyone else. And here's the final insight that ties everything together. This is the small business advantage. Large enterprises are locked into clunky ERP systems and legacy software. They cannot pivot fast enough. But small businesses? You can drop old tech stacks, freely connect APIs, and custom build an AIOS in weeks, not years. The architecture of business has fundamentally changed. The fastest to adapt their bandwidth wins. This isn't coming in 5 years, it's happening right now. The founders who build their AI operating system today will have a compounding advantage that's nearly impossible to catch. The question is whether you'll build the system or keep being the system.